Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and this is Pigeon Forge Tennessee, June 2022, and we're just driving up and down the road. It was a hot day. I kept my window up, so you might see a little bit of a reflection as we're driving around. And by the way, I know there are a ton of Pigeon Forge videos up, but if you're like me, I love this area, and I'll probably put up a video every year or two just because I love it so much. I honestly cannot get enough of this area, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, the Great Smoky Mountains. I love everything about this whole area. And I'll just point out a few of my favorite things there. There's the Titanic Museum, which the first time you see it, if you're in this area for the first time, you see it, and it's kind of exciting, kind of overwhelming. You kind of come up and there's this big, I believe it's a 1/3 scale ship of the original Titanic, but it's very exciting, and it's a cool museum too. That's one we've been through, and we like it a lot. We actually had kind of a private tour there with a sweet lady named Jody several years ago. When they first brought in the Hartley violin, they had like a VIP tour with a private tour you could take, and we did that, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, we just like that museum a lot. And there's the big King Kong. That's a newer museum. I haven't been to that one yet. I was going to mention, if you go to the Relic Room, just a little bit before you get to Pigeon Forge, at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and I'm going to put up another video about that place because I love it so much. They actually have some Titanic relics for sale. And we just passed one of the cool trolleys that can get you around. We've used those before. They're fun. And especially if you don't want to drive through this traffic, it's a good way to get around. Traffic, as you can see, is kind of thick. And it on weekends, if you're going at a certain time, I mean, it can definitely be annoying. But I always think of Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg as trafficky, but manageable. It can get annoying, but you can still do it. And like I said, I always look forward to coming down to this area. I'll say on this particular trip, for the first time, we finally got around to doing a dinner show. We did the Pirates Voyage, and that was, I expected it to be good. It was way better than I expected. It was incredible. Lots of kind of cool tricks. There was music, and pre-recorded music, but the acrobatics were really cool. They had like a sea lion show as part of it, a fire juggling kind of show, and some birds doing some stuff. And they just keep bringing food out. It was really cool, and I look forward to doing more shows in the area. My wife said she definitely wants to finally do the Stampede the next time we're down here. Somebody else was telling us one of the comedy shows was really good, one of the dinner comedy shows. So I've passed on the dinner shows in the past, but we're definitely going to have to make that part of our trip each time we come down now and hit those. The Pirates Voyage was just really cool, and like I said, I'm going to put up another video of that. I know for the first few times that we came down to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, we would just stay at any hotel, which really isn't a terrible idea. I mean, you're probably going to be out and about much of the time anyway, but man, for the last few years when we've gone down, we've stayed at the bed and breakfast Berry Springs Lodge, and I'm going to put up a video of them too. That Jurassic ride we just passed, I remember seeing that like the very first time we came into Pigeon Forge and thinking, that looks so cool, I got to do it sometime, and we've never done it. But there's a lot of stuff through here like that. If you've been to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg many times, there are things you've seen and said, hey, we need to do that. And then you just don't get around to it, or you take your time getting to it. I guess like us with the dinner show, we finally got around to doing that. And it was I can't go on enough about it. But yeah, we used to stay in just any old hotel. You know, a reasonably nice one. But we pretty much stay at Berry Springs Lodge now, We did take my niece to this area with us a couple years ago, and we stayed at the Park Vista, which is right down in Gatlinburg. It's kind of part of the Skyline. It's the big round hotel, and that was a nice one, and it was affordable, and it was good for families. You know, if you're doing more than just a couple's kind of getaway, it was very acceptable. But yeah, it's just kind of funny. At one time we would stay anywhere, but now we like to stay at Berry Springs, and they've got some nice trails around their facility, and it's just a good place to stay. I know for the longest time too, I used to just refer to all of this, you know, like from the Tennessee Smoky's baseball park all the way down to Gatlinburg and beyond, going into you know the Cherokee. I used to refer to it as just all Gatlinburg, and I think other people kind of did that too. But it's the areas are really, you know, I know people now, coworkers, that either prefer Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge. A lot of people are one or the other, and I think the days of kind of coming down and doing both areas thoroughly over a weekend or a 3 or 4 day weekend are kind of over. There's so much going on in Pigeon Forge, and there's so much going on in Gatlinburg. It's kind of hard to really fit them both in if you're trying to, you know, do them both thoroughly. And there's that big gator over that shop there. That's a cool shop, by the way. I know we're close to the old mill area. I love that area too. I'll put up some other videos about that, but that's the Pottery Cafe is probably one of our favorite places to have lunch. And in Gatlinburg, I do like going to the Buckhorn Inn. That's another bed and breakfast, but in the evening, and you don't have to stay there, but you do have to make reservations. They have a 3 or a 4 course meal, and it's all set. You know, it's a standard meal each night. You can look at their website and see what the menu is, and it's that's a really nice experience. So I wanted to mention them. Probably my favorite lunch place is the Pottery Mill Cafe. My favorite place for dinner is the Buckhorn Inn. And again, you have to make reservations. They have kind of limited seating, but in my opinion, it's a very special treat. In fact, the only time I've ever seen a bear in the wild in the Great Smoky Mountains area has been at the Buckhorn Inn, to their credit. And I did just post a video about Berry Springs Lodge, and in that video, and look it up, it's on my YouTube channel, there's just a 5-10 second clip where I filmed a bobcat right off of our back kind of patio area of the room we had at Berry Springs Lodge. I actually got a little bit of video of a bobcat, which was pretty cool. And that's the second time I've seen one in the wild. First time in the Great Smoky Mountains area. And of course, this is the Great Smoky Mountains area. And you've got that whole big national park with lots going on for it. And then you've also got Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge that have sprouted up right there by it. And if you're into national parks, I know if you go up to Niagara Falls, they have kind of a similar situation. You've got all this natural beauty, and then you have, you know, kind of the fun madness of a similar kind of, you know, shops and rides that sprouted up around it. It's also the Wisconsin Dells is a very similar situation. Yeah, and I'm not a go-kart fan. I'm not a mini golf fan. There's a lot here that I'm not a fan of, but I'm kind of a fan of it all collectively. I've enjoyed watching Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg evolve, and they're just such cool destinations. I know in general, though, the more we go down here, the more we do the parks, and the less we do of the strip, you know, Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. But I still want to do it. If I'm going to be in this area, you know, there's a few little shops that I like a lot, and I want to go and hit those areas for sure. Oh, and I did want to mention, and I think I just put up a video of it also. Black Rifle Coffee Company. I've seen it in stores, and they actually have a coffee shop here in Pigeon Forge, and I thought that was pretty cool. We stopped there a few times. They have good coffee, and it's they have a nice big cozy coffee shop to sit into, and that's just a lot of fun. And as I'm driving around, I noticed there are just so many hotels. I've noticed some that are sort of built sideways, I think, kind of making the most of their space. If you're looking out the window, you're not going to be looking exactly at the strip here. Now, we just passed Three Bears, and I love Three Bears. I know it's a little controversial. They have some bears in the back, and I think it's about $3 to go see their bears, and you can buy some bear food to give the bears some bear food. There are barriers. You're not going to get physically close enough to the bears to have anything to worry about. But that's just a cool place. They've got a lot. I like their prices. They sell lots of souvenirs. The Comedy Barn. Some people at the Berry Springs Lodge were telling us that is great. It's clean humor and it's really funny. They were really happy with that, so I'm gonna have to try that soon. And Alcatraz East. Check that out. I've been there. It's a big old crime museum, and it's all you would expect, for sure. I've done the outlets over here. I like them, but I'm not an outlets person. And there's where the Pirates Voyage is, and man, I could go on and on about that. I am a fan of that. I really, if there was a book about it, I would check that out. Yeah, see how that hotel is built? It's kind of sideways. You're not going to be looking out over the road, which I think is just something I noticed. I saw a few hotels in the area like that. The Pink Jeep Tours. I was looking up their tours, and it looks like most of the stuff they do is stuff you could do on your own. If you've been coming to the Great Smoky Mountains for years, it looks like they're taking you on the same trails that you've probably already done yourself. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. I'm really curious. I know that same company has Jeep tours in Sedona, Arizona. And it's cool because they've got access to places you can't go unless you do it with a Pink Jeep tour. Kind of old ruins and just fascinating places. And, I can totally see doing a Pink Jeep tour in Sedona, Arizona. But is it worth it doing it in this area, in the Great Smoky Mountains? Let me know if you have an opinion on that. Let me know if you've done one. I'm just curious. I haven't talked to anyone who's done a Pink Jeep tour in this area. And there was another trolley. Unfortunately, there are lots of chain stores through here, but I gotta admit, CVS, I can't tell you how many times I've been on the road and been thankful that there's a CVS nearby. Some kind of biblical dinner shows. I would be interested in doing those too soon. If you've done those, let me know. I just think those would be interesting. Cracker Barrel, always a safe bet. There is, I will say too, there is a Books A Million in this area that I usually stop at every time I'm here because I like that chain. I like Books A Million. It's a chain bookshop, I know, but the one here has a nice local selection, and yeah, I like Books A Million. There's the Local Goat. We've been there a few times. I like that place, and I think it's pretty cool. And I believe there's a snow park where they have fake snow, but you can still do snowy stuff year-round. The Civil War Theater, I have not done that, but that's big on my list. I know they do like a play, but it's not a dinner show. And also, I know for religious reasons, they only perform it. They don't perform on Saturdays. And the couple of times that I've almost done that, it was, no, not on a Sunday, it's on a Saturday. They don't perform on Saturday. If you've seen that, let me know. I'm just curious about that too. And I mentioned Berry Springs Lodge a little bit ago. It's only a couple of miles from Dollywood. I've never done Dollywood. I'm not much of a theme park person. But we stopped by the hotel, the Dollywood Hotel once. And they had a little coffee shop. I got coffee. There's another kind of sideways hotel. We've stopped by, Dolly Parton's hotel out there. And I thought it was really cool. I liked what they had going on there. And of course, Dolly Parton is a freaking saint. Period. So yeah, I'm okay with supporting her and her businesses for sure. Oh, no, I don't think I got it in the shot. I know we were close to the Black Rifle Coffee Company just a moment ago. We're near the outlet malls. More mini golf. I've gone over here and like looked at the mini golf, but I can't get excited about mini golf. And I'm in the minority with my friends on that one. Oh, and a couple businesses have moved out of Gatlinburg into Pigeon Forge. I know Cooter's Place with the Dukes of Hazzard Museum and the Hard Rock Cafe moved out of Gatlinburg, and they're now in Pigeon Forge. And I've not been to either business since their move, so I've got to resolve that soon. Anyway, hope you didn't mind me rambling on about Pigeon Forge. And yeah, love this area.